NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Atlanta is presented by Pennzoil and brought to you in part by Golden Corral. Help yourself to happiness. Toyota and Viagra.
Almost halfway in tonight's NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Our coverage presented by Pennzoil. Tony Stewart, Carl Edwards will be on the front row to lead for this restart. 23 cars on the lead lap after this extended cleanup from the big wreck in Turn 4 that involved, among others, Elliott Sadler. Let's hear from him, Mike.
Elliott Sadler has certainly taken a couple of very hard hits over the last couple of months. Luckily, though, he just walked from the care center. You told me you feel okay. It wasn't that big a hit, but what happened?
I don't know, somebody spun out or whatever in front of us, and I saw the 16 spinning and kind of blocking the track, and me and Harvick tried to go under him, and I couldn't go any lower because of the 29 car, and I think the 16 was standing in the gas, trying to stay at the wall. Just came down, clipped us in our right rear, turned us head on into the wall. So our Stanley Ford is damaged and done for the night. So very frustrating. We had a really good car, and guys kind of start short pinning on us, put us behind, and we were trying to play catch up, but really want to finish this race. We felt like we had a good shot at a good finish tonight.
Good news, guys, though, is he's able to walk out of the care center unhurt.
Thank you, Mike. 23 cars on the lead lap after Jeff Burton gets the lucky dog. It's Tony Stewart, the leader, Carl Edwards, Jimmy Johnson, Martin Truex, Jeff Gordon. That's your top five. Green flag flies. We're racing again in Atlanta.
Jimmy Johnson to the inside.
Going to go 3 wide for a moment. Jimmy just fires past and jumps out to the front for the first time tonight. Carl Edwards on the high side.
Sometimes a leader will spin his tires. You see Kyle Busch here trying to make up some spots already on the outside of Jeff Gordon. But if a guy can get a really good start, not spin your tires at all, that's like what Jimmy Johnson did to lead his first laps of the night.
Kyle Busch has already moved up to the 6th position, guys, after getting back on the lead lap. Right now, it is Johnson, Stewart, Edwards, your top 3, and then Truex, Kane, Kyle Busch, Jeff Gordon. That's your top 7. Ganassi teammates going side by side. Montoya down low, McMurray up high. With all this action, Jamie McMurray right now puts himself back into the 13th spot in the chase for that last spot.
Well, he knows he just has to try to work his way up into a top 5 finish, and hopefully the 33 may finish somewhere outside of the top 20. Cut that deficit about in half and then go to Richmond and see what may happen.
McMurray 8th right now. Clint Boyer running 13th. Mark Martin, we can tell you, also back on the lead lap in 18th position. And all of a sudden, the 48 has come to life, as they now become our 5th different leader. 15 lead changes and opens up a half a second lead over Tony Stewart.
This track has changed a lot. It's got a lot cooler, put a lot of laps on it, put a lot of rubber down. So, a lot of cars are kind of coming to the surface that we haven't seen. Jimmy Johnson's one of them.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. also got back on the lead lap, and here he goes taking a peek underneath the 42.
Yeah, making some good runs off the corners. He's made these last couple of passes.
This is for 9th on the track.
Got a little bit loose right there. Not going to be able to complete that pass in that corner.
Right behind him is Paul Menard. Jeff Gordon goes back underneath the 18 of Kyle Busch, so move Jeff into the 6th position.
Really been impressed with what Jeff Gordon and his team work on this car tonight, get themselves back into position.
Junior going for another run at the 42.
He's trying to make that work. He just can't quite get enough momentum off the corner past Montoya in that corner. Montoya takes that inside back here going into turn 3.
Sort of calms down right now. Whoa, Montoya steps it out just a little bit. And that gives Junior a little bit of momentum. Casey Kane right now running in 5th. There's Jeff Gordon, also the 18 of Kyle Busch, and McMurray closing. And look at the run by Gordon. He's going to go underneath Kane and say bye-bye.
Yeah, we saw Jeff working on that high line earlier in the race, but he's got his car much better now.
But it looks like some of these cars, I think Jeff Gordon's one of them, running the bottom in 3 and 4 and running the top in 1 and 2. That seems to be right now, at least with the tires in pretty good shape right now, a pretty good way to run.
Kyle and Kane side by side. And Kyle's got to be thinking, well, let's see, the 20's had an engine problem. The 11's blown up. What's mine going to do?
Well, all you can do is go drive it, try to take care of it, obviously, as much as possible, but you really can't worry too much about that as he does complete that pass on Casey Kane.
Well, and the word from Dave Burns was that it's 2 different types of problems.
Yeah, the fastest car on the racetrack right now is this 14 car. He's chasing down Jimmy Johnson.
Tony Stewart closes in on Jimmy Johnson.
Well, Tony's car really has been fast tonight.
You see Tony's able to cut his car down.
You see that right front wheel going back and forth?
That's hitting that seam right there. When you hit that seam, it really takes any grip you have away as he's able to go on and make the pass. That's just Tony Stewart wheeling this race car.
Tony's going to give us our 16th lead change now between the 5 guys that have been running up front. And Stewart is within 3 laps of taking over the lap leadership here in our event presented by Pennzoil. Past halfway, you're looking from high above, and we want to make sure you go to Goodyear.com to check out Goodyear Support Our Troops program. There you can send a thank you message from a NASCAR driver and enter for a chance to win a 2011 Ford Taurus and other great prizes. The gap is just under a second between Tony Stewart, our race leader, and Jimmy Johnson, who is in second place. And Tony, of course, 2 wins here back in March of 02 and October of 06. And there is the top 5 in our Sprint Cup race presented by Pennzoil after 176 laps. And remember, Kevin Harvick had the valve stem issue, and he has brought it back to 9th position. In fact, let's go up to speed and start it right there with Dave Burns.
Marty, that's 4 positions. As he grabs that yellow line, wiggles a little bit, 4 positions up since the restart. He's going to get another one here right now from Juan Pablo Montoya. But this is the same race car that they drove in Michigan to the win from the 8th place starting spot. They tried the same setup there, but this place is so bumpy, it didn't really work. So they worked back from that and have been very happy with the car all weekend long. Jamie?
And the 42 of Juan Pablo Montoya, they just told him on the radio, you are the 3rd fastest car out there. Great job. Keep it going. I know he's not running up there in the top 5 yet, but they have a great car on the last round of pit stops. All they made was an air pressure adjustment, saying it's just a little bit tight. The car is getting better. Mike?
Jamie, coming into the night, Casey Kane's crew chief, Kenny Francis, told me one of their biggest concerns were, as the speeds picked up, as the sun went down, were that the splitter would hit the racetrack, but there's a bigger problem than that for the 1 car, as he gets loose headed to pit road, guys.
Jamie McMurray's got his hands full just trying to get to pit road, and his hopes of maybe making the chase.
Man, it was a big-time problem right there, and a bunch of cars had to avoid him. It's like it might be a left rear. I don't look like the right rear's up.
Yeah.
Well, he heads down and heading your way, Jamie Little.
Such a disappointment. The last round of stops, finally the car was good enough just to take tires. They didn't need any adjustments. This is not what they need. Of course, there is still a lot of racing left to do, but remember, he sat outside the bubble coming into this race. 4 tires, just to be careful. I know he said right rear, guys, but could have been the left sides as well. So they're doing the smart thing. They took 4, and Jamie McMurray is down.
And McMurray is going to go a lap down as he pulls back out onto the racetrack.
Key thing is he didn't wreck it. I mean, he came really close to wrecking that car.
He came close to wrecking that, and Kevin Harvick almost wrecked running into him.
And look what this could do to him in the points. If he can't recover from this, 15th isn't going to cut it. Mark Martin would still be 104 back. Boyer is still breathing a lot easier than the rest of them below him. This battle on the racetrack, though, really heating up as you've got Harvick chasing down the 18 of Kyle Busch and Casey running the high line.
You can see Harvick right on the bumper. Kyle Busch.
That's McMurray's tire on the right side of your screen. And thank goodness for the inner liner.
Yeah, definitely thank goodness for that. Goodyear came up with that innovation a lot of years ago, and this saved a lot of race cars and drivers from hitting the wall hard. You can see Kyle Busch really struggling with his car right now.
He almost hit the wall there.
you know, Jamie McMurray and Kyle Busch have been racing really hard for position earlier, and I just wonder maybe if there wasn't maybe some slight contact that may have cut that left rear down.
All right, let's look at the battle for fourth right now. Jeff has been getting great runs off of 2, but this time Truex is able to hold him off as they are duking it out for that 4th spot.
Yeah, you can see a little different style there. You can see Jeff was up pretty close. He got out of the throttle a little bit earlier, now trying to pick it up sooner, get that nice run off the corner, see if he can get that momentum down and get that outside position going into the corner. So it'll take him about a lap to make that pass. Dave?
And DJ, I got to tell you, you said they were working on this car a lot. Boy, have they been. But it's been real hot and cold as he's going to use the high line to get around Martin Truex right there. Just about 5 laps ago, he said, what I had is gone. It went straight to tight from being very good in picking up positions. So throughout the night, they've kind of gone back and forth, trying to not kill the drive off, as Jeff would say, and keep the tightness out of the car. And it's been a real struggle.
All right, let's get an update on Jamie McMurray's situation. He's 1 lap down in 26. Jamie?
Well, Marty, remember the driver said it's a right rear. And Andy said, well, it could be the left. You were right, Andy. It was the left rear. Good thing they made the call to take 4 tires and not just right side. See this cut right here? Goodyear guys are down here. They circled it. That was a big cut, guys, maybe from the debris from the last crash. Marty?
Tough break for Jamie, as you see where he started in this race and where he is right now. And again, he is a lap down and not in the lucky dog position. He's got Mir, Sorensen, and Rudeman in front of him to get to that spot. All right, let's get an update on Greg Biffle because his car has been worked on back in the garage area. Doc? Mike, I'm sorry.
And Marty, as you can see, the work continues on the 16 car. There's about a dozen crew members going to work. They've already replaced the nose of that car. They still need to replace the radiator. Some welding going on in there as well. Many broken suspension parts, but this team's still very hopeful about getting the 16 car back on the racetrack tonight.
And on the left side of your screen, as you finish up, you see Kevin Harvick, Juan Pablo Montoya. That is a battle for 6th position on the racetrack. Tony Stewart will let you know is leading by 2 seconds right now. Here comes Kyle Busch. And we can tell you that it looks like Kyle is definitely going to clinch a spot in the chase. Remember, he came in 3rd position. It will be his 4th chase appearance. Well, here's the guys that are fighting it out for that last spot right now. Clint Boyer has it by 104 points with Mark Martin right behind him there.
Yeah, and you can bet that Clint Boyer has been made aware of everything that's kind of going on. He knows that Mark Martin's right behind him. He probably knows that Jamie McMurray has had a flat tire and that he's got a comfortable cushion there right now. So he's just kind of making his night the most that he possibly can, doing a good job.
And as those guys continue to run pretty much in lockstep, there is Tony Stewart with a 2-second lead over Jimmy Johnson in our 25th race of the Sprint Cup season, presented by Pennzoil.